Halloween at the cafe. The mice who live in the cafe by the sea overhear that ghost pirates are coming to the cafe. Should they run away? Our reluctant hero, Jimmy Mouse, is sent to investigate. The mice who live in the cafe by the sea overhear that ghost pirates are coming to the cafe. Should they run away? Our reluctant hero, Jimmy Mouse, is sent to investigate. Hello, you're listening to me, Morocote, and I'm back with a mousy Halloween story. Halloween at the cafe. The door of the seaside cafe creaked open, ushering in a gust of chilly wind as a regular customer stepped inside. It was October. Days were shortening, and the air was already tinged with the bite of autumn. Judith Mouse shivered. She sat as still as possible on a shelf behind a large jar of black tea, barely daring to breathe. Her ears twitched as she listened to the conversation between the customer and the cafe owner. "How's business?" the customer asked. "Tomorrow night's going to be wild," replied the owner. "Ghosts, witches, the whole town's turning into a sugary nightmare. We're even expecting pirates, you know." "Pirates? What's that all about?" the customer asked, raising his eyebrows. "Not just any pirates, ghost pirates. Decorations, sweets, costumes. It'll be anarchy, I'm telling you." Ghost pirates? Judith could hardly believe her mousy ears. Rodina Mouse, hiding behind the fridge, had overheard the same conversation. She shivered, and not just because of the cold. Later, as they huddled behind the skirting board, Rodina squeaked, "Did you hear? Ghost pirates?" Judith nodded. "I feared I'd imagined it. Nothing like this has ever happened at the cafe." Word spread quickly among the mice, and Grandpa Mouse soon called a meeting. His head wobbled as he addressed them. Pirates are bad enough alive. Ghost pirates? Even worse. Maybe some smelly cheese like Limburger could ward them off, but that's no guarantee. Judith's eyes lit up. "Remember the old pirate legend, Grandpa? One ghost pirate was kind to mice when they kept him company in prison, but another despised mice. He kept 10 cats on his ship just to get rid of all the mice. We need to find out which crew has come to town." "That's a mission for a brave mouse," said Grandpa. All eyes turned to Jimmy Mouse. "Oh, not me again," groaned Jimmy, though he knew arguing was pointless. All right. I'll find out if they're here for something in particular or just to scare everyone. And I'll figure out if it's the friendly pirate or the one who hates us." That evening, Jimmy Mouse ventured onto the streets. The town was transformed. Lights flickered in shop windows, strange shadows danced across the cobblestones, and the usual smell of baked bread was mixed with something sweet and pumpkin-y. Jimmy's heart pounded as he crept along the base of buildings. Every shadow seemed to hide some lurking danger. A sudden gust of wind sent leaves skittering across his path like skeletal fingers. He took a deep breath and pressed on. At the town square, an eerie melody filled the air. The centerpiece was a towering figure in front of the old clock tower. A colossal ghost pirate with a tattered coat and a glowing eye patch. Its mechanical arm swung a massive cutlass, casting long, menacing shadows. Suddenly the pirate's eyes flashed red, and a booming voice echoed, "Beware, all ye who enter here!" Jimmy's fur stood on end as he darted behind a pumpkin display. He nearly bumped into a carved jack-o'-lantern whose wicked grin made him jump. As he dashed into an alley, glowing eyes appeared from the darkness. A black cat emerged, its bright green eyes locking onto him. Jimmy didn't hesitate. He bolted, weaving between decorative tombstones and dodging rubber bats. He dived into a drain just in time, tumbling into the darkness. When he finally made it back to the safety of the skirting board, he gasped, "They're real! Ghost pirates, witches, and a giant cat! And they're coming this way!" The mice held an emergency meeting. Some were ready to flee the cafe, and the town altogether. "We can't just run," Judith insisted, though her voice trembled. "This is our home. We need to understand what they want. Maybe they'll leave us alone if we do." "Reason with ghosts?" squeaked Henry. "And monster cats? What could go wrong?" After much debate, the mice decided to hide, leaving Jimmy behind to discover the truth. Poor Jimmy, who had faced many dangers before, found waiting for the ghost pirates the scariest challenge yet. While the others evacuated through a pipe to a garage behind the cafe, Jimmy cautiously watched from a crack in the wall. In the early evening, ghost-like figures started to flood in. They were dressed in all manner of costumes. Pirates with swords, witches with floppy hats, and little goblins clutching bags of sweets. At first, Jimmy's heart raced. Ghosts, he whispered, his fur standing on end. But as he watched, something didn't quite add up. One ghost pirate's cutlass wobbled as if made of rubber, and another tripped over its own boots. One of the witch's hats was far too big and flopped over her eyes. Slowly, realization dawned. They're human kids, Jimmy muttered, blinking in surprise. He noticed that the giant ghost pirate was now stationed at the cafe entrance, motionless, except for the occasional swing of its mechanical arm. Children laughed and posed for pictures beside it. One of the mums brought the black cat from the alley. It turned out to be a large stuffed decoration, its eyes glowing from tiny bulbs. Meanwhile, the small ghosts and ghouls, who were actually the human kids, were busy stuffing their faces with cakes, toffee apples, and chocolates. The mums and dads had given up trying to wipe the chocolate and jam off their children's faces, and the cafe owner was hunched in the corner with her fingers in her ears. She watched as the kids took turns playing Bob the Apple, while her cafe floor was getting increasingly soaked by the game of apple bobbing going on. The children's shrieks and laughter were deafening, with no imminent signs of becoming quieter. Jimmy smiled to himself. I wonder what's worse. Being haunted by ghosts or hosting a kids' party? I bet some people would rather have ghosts than kids any day. But amid all the chaos, there was plenty of opportunity for a brave little mouse to dart out and grab some crumbs without being noticed. And when, eventually, the party came to an end and the last little monster had left, there was a wonderful, delicious, sticky mess all over the cafe's floor. Even better, the owner was far too exhausted to mop up and went to bed with a headache. Jimmy rushed off to report his findings to the mice hiding in the garage. Grandpa Mouse greeted him with open arms. Well done, little Jimmy, on being alive. You survived once again. Cats can't get you, traps can't eat our Jimmy, ghosts can't get you. What horrific fur-trinkling story have you got to tell us this time? It's a mess, the most frightful mess, crumbs everywhere, he exclaimed. Wonderful, squeaked all the mice. And even better, we've got all night clear to eat up the crumbs, added Jimmy. But are you sure there aren't any ghosts? Asked Rodina Mouse. Yes, I'm sure they're all gone. You're a hero, Jimmy, declared Grandpa Mouse. Come on, everyone, let's hurry back to the cafe. And the mice had a great time cleaning the delicious crumbs at the cafe. They were thankful that human kids are far messier than real ghosts. The only problem was that Henry suffered from a sugar high and had to lie down. Otherwise, they all had the best Halloween ever. And that was Halloween at the Cafe. Read by me, Morocote.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more video.